Right now, thousands of people are crowding the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, trying to get out of the country after the Taliban took control of the city. There are reports that at least 5 people have been killed amid this chaos. And starting today, the State Department says it will evacuate thousands of Americans who've been living in Afghanistan.
This morning, Afghans and Americans trapped in Afghanistan, watching in horror as the Taliban seizes control, declaring the nation the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. According to the New York Times, more than 100 journalists employed by the US government's radio stations are still in the country, which continued to broadcast throughout Sunday when Taliban fighters took over the palace in Kabul. The Taliban broadcasting on live TV from the country's equivalent of the Oval Office as the ousted president fled the country. The US embassy now shuttered and the American flag taken down. Troops rushing the American ambassador and diplomats to the airport in Kabul, where thousands of panic-stricken Afghans are scrambling to escape the country.
Just cases of pandemonium at the airport, individuals who are not at the airport who have been told to shelter in place, uncertain of how they will navigate through Kabul to get to the airport.
At least 500 embassy staffers have already escaped, but many American allies still remain. Now, as many as 6,000 US troops deployed to help evacuate those left behind, including embassy personnel, Afghan interpreters and their families, and those who helped the US during 20 years of war. Despite 2 decades of training and trillions of US dollars, it took little more than a week for the Taliban to neutralize the Afghan military and seize control of almost the entire country. 65 countries have joined the US and the European Union in releasing a joint statement, asking for the safe and orderly departure of foreign nationals and Afghans who wish to leave the country.
It's clear they're in charge, but it's not clear what form that will take. I don't think it necessarily reverts back automatically, inevitably, to 20 years ago, although it may. We don't know enough yet about what the Taliban will bring to its ruling power.
Well, ABC News has learned that the US has temporarily halted evacuation flights for Afghan interpreters and their families to Fort Lee in Virginia, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. Currently, tens of thousands of Afghans have applied for US visas or refugee status. It's understood that the Biden administration has instead been focusing on evacuating American personnel first. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, London.